I can't breathe.
This is Merced City Council member Fernando Echevarria on June 7th demonstrating, being choked, and then saying, "I can't breathe." It sparked outrage from the community, and they're continuing to ask for him to be removed. But Echevarria continues to be silent. And joining me now is Merced City Council member and former Merced County Sheriff Sergeant Delray Shelton. Mr. Shelton, thank you so much for joining us here on Sunday Morning Matters. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, and thank you for the invitation and for having me.
Absolutely. And, you know, we haven't heard from Mr. Echevarria yet on his actions from that choke demonstration way back in the beginning of June that was caught on camera. And I know that it's been a hot topic there in Merced. What do you make of what you first saw and then his silence on it from there out?
Yeah, so thanks for asking the question. So I want to be very clear. I was not present when the incident transpired. All the information that I have ascertained since the incident has been obviously word of mouth, what I've read online, so on and so forth. And
you haven't seen the video yet?
I have seen the video. Understanding there's a few videos surfacing, and I have seen one angle of the very tail end of the incident. And so, in all fairness, I don't have firsthand knowledge, but what I do know is that he has been charged with by the people for being insensitive, for reckless remarks, for some actions that weren't palatable. Obviously, the chokehold, a demonstration that was made resembling Mr. Floyd.
Right, and he said, "I can't breathe." And so when you see that, though, just on the surface of it, do you see that demonstration as racist, and have you talked to him about it?
So I have not spoken with my council colleague, Fernando Echevarria, regarding the incident. However, my personal thoughts are, you need to be very careful with what comes out of your mouth in how you navigate, especially during times like this when people, the nation as a whole is grieving. We're in the valley of decision. It's history in the making, so on and so forth. And so we need to be about the things that we say and we do. I don't know what his intention was behind it. And so, I can't pass judgment or I can't speak down. But what I do know from what I face value, it's unacceptable.
Right. Well, let me ask you this. Under the Merced City Council Creed, and it's right there on your guys' website, it says members must show sensitivity and awareness of community needs and issues, and clearly he did not do that. So should he resign? Should he be removed? How do you handle this?
Yeah, so as you know, there is a call for his resignation by the community. Many people were very angry and upset and hurt by his comments and or actions. And so, in a position like this, we're here if the people want us here. And if the people don't want us here, what's the purpose for being here?
Well, let me ask you this now, because we just have a couple minutes left, and I know that the city of Merced, along with the mayor and the city council, you guys have started your own commission on police reform. One, part of that reform, will it consider defunding? As city council members, you may have to decide that. And then number two, will you get rid of all chokeholds? You're a former sergeant. So what's your thoughts on this? And is there any systemic racism within the Merced Police Department?
So if I can answer that in three sections, yes. Mayor Murphy just announced publicly of our a committee that the city has put together to take a look at policies, procedures, best practices, training, so on and so forth. And so we are really excited. We're really excited about this committee, and we think they will do great things for the police department. In regards to systemic racism, I think no matter where you go, there's going to be people that is deep-rooted within. And so we can't single out police departments or sheriff's offices, so on and so forth. I think that's widely spread everywhere you go. What I do know is that our current police department obviously is not perfect, but I will tell you that they are a well-intentioned group of men and who have set
Will there be?
right.
Will you guys decide to defund it all? Defund the police department? I know that that word is very vague these days, but any consideration there?
Sure. Yeah, so we currently have no intentions of defunding the police department. What we have agreed to is take a very hard look at the services that we currently fund and see potentially how things can be reworked. But you're asking for utter answers if you defund the police department. And I think that we need to do better about explaining to the people just how the operation ran and the demand that it has on budget. But we also need to address, obviously, the community's concerns and needs. But I don't think defunding the police department is an answer. Some people obviously have had issues or, at the hands of the police department, what they deem as missteps. But defunding the police department is not also how you hold people accountable.
All right, Mr. Shelton, we got to cut it there. I appreciate your time so much here on Sunday Morning Matters. Be well, and we'll have you back very soon.
Great, thank you.
Coming up, our panel returns. How should elected school board and council members be dealt with after making controversial and racist comments and actions?